Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for my Australian Readathon and November TBR. So as you guys probably know, I am co-hosting the Australian Readathon throughout the entire month of November. I am co-hosting the Readathon with Meredith from Reading with Merb, Ren from the Reading Ren, and Steph from Novelty Corner. You should go and check out all of their channels. They are absolutely wonderful people, great content creators, and fantastic friends. So yeah, I highly recommend you go and check them out. They are all linked in the description below. And yes, we are co-hosting the Australian Readathon throughout the entire month of November. I have linked my announcement video down below as well so that you can go and get all the information that you will need to join us in the Readathon. But essentially, it's really easy to join the Readathon. All you need to do is read one book by an Australian author and you have participated in the Readathon. We have a group book which I will definitely be reading, and that is The Boy from the Mish by Gary Lounsborough. I do not know exactly when I will be reading this throughout the month, but I will create a schedule for those people that want to do it as a buddy read. So check out the Discord for that and all the other information that you might need for the Readathon. The Discord is linked below as well. So I will be reading The Boy from the Mish. That is one of the books on my TBR. However, I've also created a TBR that is going to fulfill all of the spaces on the bingo board. So the other way that you can participate in the Readathon is by filling the prompts on the bingo board, which I have popped up on the screen just here. So I'm going to go around now and let you know what books I'll be reading for each prompt. However, you do not have to read one book for each prompt. You can double up, triple up, quadruple up. If you find a book that covers absolutely everything on the board, then not only am I utterly in awe of you, but you can read that one book. The Boy from the Mish, which is our group book, as I said, will get you quite a few of the prompts. So it will get you the first row. So you get a bingo just from reading The Boy from the Mish, because it is LGBTQIA+. It is written by an Australian Aboriginal author and it is young adult. It also has orange on the cover, so it will get you that prompt. And it is also set in Australia, so it will get you that prompt. And I'm pretty sure it's a hot setting, so it will get you that prompt as well. The only two that it will not cover is indie or self-published, and it won't technically cover host's favourite because basically Meredith put Gary Lounsborough's other book as one of her favourites because this was a group book. But it is one of Meredith's favourites. But it won't technically get you that one either. But it'll get you everything else. So just from reading that one book, you will get a very big bingo. If you want to just read one book and join us for a group read, that's the one to go for. Anyway, I have picked out a book for each prompt. I will in no way get through all of the books on my TBR. I'm just going to say that right now. But I thought that it would be fun to pick a book for each prompt. Sort of a little bit of a recommendations as well. I have done a recommendations video, so if you want some inspiration, then you can go and check that out. In her announcement video, Meredith did a bit of a recommendations as well, and so did Ren. And Steph will have done a separate announcement video as well. So definitely go and check out all their channels and all their videos about the Australian Readathon. But yeah, I will go through the bingo board and let me know what I'm going to do for each of the prompts. I am not including The Boy from the Mish on my selections for the bingo board, but I am definitely reading it for the month. So potentially, depending on how things go, I will end up letting it count for a few of the prompts. But in my choices that I've made for this TBR, it's not included. It's on the TBR, but it's not included for the bingo board, if that makes sense. All right, so going around the bingo board, the first prompt is LGBTQIA+ rep. And for this one, I've actually picked one of the host's favourite books, and that is It's Been a Pleasure, Noni Blake. I have forgotten who this author is, but an image of the book will be on screen so you can find out who the author is. I don't really know anything about this other than it is queer, it's set in Australia, and it is contemporary. That's all I really know. I believe it's a bit of a romance. Ren really enjoyed it. It's one of their favourites that they've put on the favourites choices. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun and I'm going to give it a read. So that was for LGBTQIA+. For Indigenous or Torres Strait Islander author, I have gone with the Foretelling of Georgie Spider by Amberlynn Quamelina. I don't know how many TBRs I've put this on. Way too many. But I really need to read this book. This is the third book in a trilogy. The first one is The Interrogation of a Charlotte Wolf. It is a dystopian young adult series set in somewhere that is very much like Australia. It doesn't specifically say that it's Australia, but it definitely reads like it's set in Australia. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I really enjoy this series. I have waited a long time to read this. I'm not really sure why. I keep putting on TBRs and I keep not reading it. So I need to make this a priority in November. And yeah, Amberlynn Quamelina is an Australian Aboriginal author, so it definitely works for this prompt. If you wanted to read this series, I would highly recommend. As I said, the first one is The Interrogation of a Charlotte Wolf. That's the one I'm going to be reading for Australian Aboriginal author. For the prompt, middle grade or young adult, I'm going to be reading a middle grade, which is Tilly Coulter and the Narroway Hunt by Rhiannon Williams. This is a fantasy middle grade series. It's the first in series. I don't know very much about it. A secret hunt, a secret hero. When Tilly's brother Gully goes missing, her search for him leads her to the Narroway, a place so hidden is not marked on any map. There she makes a dangerous discovery. A mysterious organisation is kidnapping boys and training them to hunt. Tilly must disguise herself as a boy if she wants to rescue Gully from the Narroway hunt. But why is the hunt such a secret, and just what will the boys be hunting? I've heard fantastic things about this series. I've had this on my shelf for quite a while. It was sent to me by the lovely Ellie, and I really, really need to read it. So now's my chance. For a hot setting, I will be reading Exiles by Jane Harper. This is actually the third book in a series. I've not read the second book yet. It's coming up in this TBR. I have read the first one, which is The Dry. So this is a series about Aaron Fawkes. Aaron is a financial investigator, for the federal police, but he has worked in other criminal investigations in other police forces in the past. In The Dry, he goes back to his hometown to investigate the murder of some people that he knows. I'm not sure 100% what happens in this one, but it is following Aaron Fawkes as he investigates another murder, I think. It says, as hidden truths slowly emerge, Fawkes faces the darkest of questions. So, yeah. I'm not really sure exactly what to expect, other than the fact that I really enjoyed The Dry, and I think this will be really, really great as well. I think Jane Harper writes fantastic mysteries, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The middle prompt is a free space. I'm not really sure what I'll do for it. I may just leave it as free and do nothing, or I might cook something Australian, or I'm not sure, but basically it's a do what you want, have a break space. Then next one along is Orange on the Cover, and for this one I have put Dark Emu by Bruce Pascoe. As you can see, it has got a little bit of orange on the cover. I've not read this one, but I have started it and I was really enjoying it. I'm going to read the back to you because I think that's a better way of knowing what to expect than what I could tell you. So there's a quote first of all from Bruce Pascoe. If we look at the evidence presented to us by the explorers and explain to our children that Aboriginal people did build houses, did build dams, did sow, irrigate and till the land, did alter the course of rivers, did sew their clothes, and did construct a system of pan-continental government that generated peace and prosperity, then it is likely we will admire and love our land all the more. Pascoe puts forward a compelling argument for reconsideration of the hunter-gatherer label for pre-colonial Aboriginal Australians. The evidence insists that Aboriginal people right across the continent were using domesticated plants, sowing, harvesting, irrigating and storing, behaviours inconsistent with the hunter-gatherer tag. I think this is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to potentially be quite thought-provoking, and I think I'm going to have quite a lot of my assumptions very much questioned, and I'm looking forward to reading that and having all that happen. So there's that. The next prompt is set in Australia, and for this one I will be reading Force of Nature. This is actually the second book in the Aaron Fawkes series, so similar setup to what I was talking about with Exiles. I'm going around the board, so I had to say the second one after the third one, but yes, I will be reading this one, and that means I will be caught up with the series, which is quite exciting as well. And again, really enjoy Jane Harper as an author, so I'm looking forward to reading it. For the prompt, indie or self-published, I'll be reading The Shadow of the Winter Moon, book 1 of the Craven Chronicles by Cam Sinclair. This was sent to me by Cam quite a while ago for an honest review, and I apologise, Cam, I have not got around to reading it yet. However, I hope I will be getting to it during the month of November. Cam is from Western Australia, so he is an Australian author, and this book was self-published, so I'm very excited to read it and let you know what I think of it. So it's grim dark fantasy. It says maleficent forces are stirring in Craven City. Sharrock is a brutish sellsword with a hard temper and harder reputation. His life is cast into chaos and mortal peril when the simple task of locating hopeless drunk and vagabond Relum Hangs turns out to be much more difficult than anticipated. Conspiracies that threaten the very fabric of society will be uncovered. Scores will be settled, violence unleashed, and the lines between right and wrong, hero and villain, blurred beyond recognition. Welcome to the Shadow of the Winter Moon, book 1 of the Craven Chronicles. So, yeah, that sounds really, really cool and really, really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. And then the final prompt is the host's favourite. So I have made this graphic with all of the host favourites that we have put forward as favourites for this readathon, and you can read any book off this list and it will count for this prompt. I've decided to go with House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I had no idea Crystal Sutherland was Australian until I saw that this was one of Ren's favourites, and I thought, hey, I've had that book for a really long time as well, and I really, really want to read it. It's quite short, so it really shouldn't take me very long. So yeah, I'm going to put it on the TBR. It is a haunting modern fairy tale. Dark, dangerous things happen around the Hollow sisters, ever since they disappeared as children, only to reappear a month later with no memory of what had happened to them. Odd, eerie occurrences follow in their wake. I think it sounds fantastic. It's one of Ren's favourites. I've heard mixed things about this, but I hope I will really enjoy it. So yeah, it's on the TBR as well. And that's it. That's my TBR for the Australian Readathon. That is all of the prompts covered by one book each. Like I said, you do not have to do that. You can cover as many prompts as you like with one book. Let me know in the comments below if you are planning on taking part in the readathon. Let me know if you've made a TBR and link me to it so I can go and give it a watch or read or look at, wherever it might be. If you would like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me something Australian, an emoji that is somehow Australian, whether that be an Australian animal, a plant, the flag of Australia, anything Australian, leave that in the comments below. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.